We'll get started here with our agenda. This is the Burleigh County Human Service Zone Board meeting that's scheduled for Tuesday, June 16th at 3 p.m. We are in the Tom Baker Room in the City County Building. So we will call the meeting to order, and then I will kick it to Taeyeon.
All right, and before we get to our roll call of members, we have a team member from our auditor's office here to swear in our new zone director. Sure.
All right, Kayla?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm Haley Wilder on behalf of Mark. I'm an auditor, the deputy for the auditor's department. I'm also notary public, so I'll be swearing you in.
Sure.
So you can raise your right hand and repeat after me. So I, Kayla Kershaw,
I, Kayla Kershaw,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and the Constitution of the State of North Dakota,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of Burleigh County Human Service Zone Director
of Burleigh County Human Service Zone Director
in the County of Burleigh and the State of North Dakota,
in the County of Burleigh and the State of North Dakota,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yes. So we will sign this, and then I will scan you over a copy, okay? Kayla, do you want to sign it real quick? Oh, just so she can do it. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I will move on with roll call of members now. Kelly Berglund.
Here.
Trevor Bennett.
Here.
Jim Holm.
Here.
Commissioner Bakken.
Here.
And Director Kershaw.
Here.
And for the record, Senator Dever and Tracy Famous are both absent today.
Okay. Okay, so our next agenda item is the approval of the meeting minutes from March 17th of 2026. So I hope everybody had a chance to review those and just wanted to see if there's any questions regarding those meeting minutes.
I would move for approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Not in
Aye.
favor? Sorry, Bakken, I didn't account for the delay. Okay, the next item on the agenda is public comment. So we don't have anybody in the audience here, so I would assume we will move on from that one. And our,
You still have to call it.
oh. Okay.
Just a first, second, and third. Close it.
Okay, okay, so for public comment, can I get a first?
Second
Call for second? And we can move on.
Third and final call.
Third and final call? Okay.
And then close the public comment.
Okay, closing the public comment. We'll move on to the fifth agenda item, which is the director's report. Our first item is economic assistance, and we do have Gray Lang from that unit here to give us some updates.
Hi. Okay, I just have a few updates. The first things to talk about are some changes that have been made in program-wise. Of course, SNAP, beginning in June 2026 this year, just so you know, the EBT cards are going to have a new look to them. The old cards will remain fully functional and they do not need to be replaced. It's just as they start sending out new EBT cards now, they're going to look different from what they currently look like. Of course, it is summertime, and so summer EBT, which is also known as Sunbucks, that has started. This is a partnering of Health and Human Services and DPI together, and they provide a one-time issuance per eligible school-age child. There are roughly over 44,000 North Dakota students that were already pre-qualified for the 2026 summer. Sunbucks benefits are loaded onto a separate EBT card, and they do expire 122 days from issuance, and they cannot be replaced. Households that have children that were not automatically eligible and meet the income requirements for free or reduced school meals are encouraged to apply. And there is a website they can go to, which is ndsummerebt.nd.gov. Also, it is storm season, and we just had a few storms earlier in the month of June. And so this is just a reminder, as the storms do happen, if there is any SNAP recipient across North Dakota who experiences a loss of food that was purchased with the SNAP benefits due to the power outages, if it lasted more than 4 hours, and it was due to storms or other disaster, they may be eligible for replacement of their SNAP benefits. The loss must be reported within 10 days of the local Human Service Zone office or with customer support, and a form must be filed for the replacement request. The individual may need to provide verification of the power outage if it was something other than a storm that we knew about. For LIHEAP, effective June 1st, LIHEAP benefits are now going to be provided year-round. Previously, the LIHEAP season ended on May 31st of each year. Both the primary and secondary heating sources will continue to be paid through the summer months until the household's next review is due. There was a mass mailing letter that went out on June 2nd to all LIHEAP households to inform them of this change. Recently, an EA task force team was created, and they are to help determine the issues within the EA redesign model and also to problem solve solutions for a more efficient and productive statewide process. The implementation details, of course, are still being worked out. One of the first steps taken so far to improve the backlog of the work by they issued a mandate that every eligibility worker, lead worker, and supervisor across the state work a minimum of 8 hours and no more than 12 hours of overtime per week. We were informed of this decision on Thursday, May 28th, that the effort was to begin the following Monday on June 1st, and we're currently in week 3 of this effort at this time, and we've been given no information on how long this mandate is expected to continue at this point. I do at this time want to give a huge shout out to my team and tell them thank you for stepping up and putting their best efforts forward to this. With very little to no notice of the mandate being put into place, several did have to make drastic changes in their lives and quickly to be able to accommodate for the extra hours. So I want to tell them that I appreciate that. The EA task force team also stated that they would begin hosting monthly all-staff meetings effective this month, June 26th. At this time, we haven't received any meeting invite issued or any other information to be given when these will actually start. However, all of the regional meetings and other economic assistance meetings have been ended as of June 1st. There are currently other initiatives in the work, but more information is to come with that as soon as we get it. Told you it'd be short and sweet.
Perfect. I do want to, I guess, just second what Grace said about being really thankful for all of our workers in the economic assistance program. It has been difficult with the mandated overtime, but they are handling it well. And we do look for those updates. So as soon as we get them, we want to get them pushed out to the field.
Just a quick question. You had mentioned the summer program.
Mm-hmm.
Could you explain what that is?
So that is just SNAP for those school-age children who receive free or reduced meals during the school year. Because they're not in school right now, they don't have that meal, the lunch meal, while they're at school. So we have a Sunbucks program, which will issue SNAP benefits on a separate card to the families of those children so that they can have access to SNAP benefits to purchase more food to have at home for lunch since they're not in school. And it's still based on income eligibility, and so it may not be, the child may not be necessarily receiving free or reduced meals during the school year, but they could still be eligible, so they could apply, and get those summer EBT as well. Yeah. They've actually been doing this for a couple years now, pretty much since COVID, I think, is when it started, and it's just continued each summer so far. Yep.
And I think in this section is where we wanted to talk about global neighbors too. Okay, so last meeting, Trevor had brought up,
It was after the meeting I reached out to Tayon and they had major concerns about getting their paperwork in, so I reached out to them.
yeah, so we did set up a meeting with global neighbors and we were able to meet with them, and it sounds like some of the frustration has been just when they're calling into the call center, it's the workers not necessarily being specialized or knowing that the refugee program. So it sounds like from them, they were able to get it figured out, but it did take them 3 different times to call to speak with somebody that was able to answer their questions. So Brett attended that meeting with me, and we were able to have a conversation with them, and, they understood, but they also, used to appreciate when we were able to have a more individualized, approach to it. But we know with redesign, that's not something that we're currently able to do, so.
And I'll add to that, prior to redesign, the alien cases were pretty much secluded to Burleigh County and Cass County because they were the ones that received most of the refugees that come in and get settled in. And so we were the ones that worked most of those cases. And when we moved to the redesign and all of the cases went statewide, now all those cases can end up with any worker across the state who may not have ever worked an alien or refugee case.
Okay, any other questions for Gray? Okay, thanks, Gray.
Thank you.
We'll move on to our child welfare unit update. So that's in the packet of our minutes for today. Just a couple things I can add to this is for our case management, we do continue to go through the second phase of the redesign, so we will be, that will be implemented here soon. So we continue to work on that. And we continue to have some collaboration within our child protection unit with our response team that comes into Burleigh County to help us with our kind of overflow of reports. So that is something that we have continued to do, and they've continued to be able to support us on an ongoing basis with that. Does anybody have any questions on the child welfare unit update? And then in other zone updates, I don't have anything to update about the building. I just wanted to mention, obviously, the renovation is still happening. We're still kind of expected to do some shifting around December. And we haven't received any other updates other than that. So more to come on that. Any other updates?
Yeah, I'll
that?
bring up the voucher program. I don't know if the zone board's aware, but at the 6/9 city commission meeting, they're gonna start a voucher program for the fixed route, and that'll help your clients that need to get from the zone office, and it'll help them get around to get to appointments and stuff. So I would encourage the zone to be on the lookout for that. I'll help you, Kayla, with, getting your agency on the thing. You guys will have to track where they're going and stuff, because they have to track it, because we're using sales tax dollars.
Okay.
for that. So, but I encourage your agency to get on the list because I know your clients use the CAP bus to get down to your office and stuff. You know, I know some are homeless, some are, it's more to come on it. It was just approved 6 and 9 the last Tuesday election night, so
Okay.
I'll be in touch more on that when I hear more.
Do you know if there are a certain number? There-
$5,000 worth.
5,000?
Yep. And it has to be like an agency ministry on the margins or nonprofit, kind of. You can apply, but more to come. Hopefully I'll have more next meeting. I don't.
Sounds good. Thanks, Trevor.
Yep.
And then we can move to agenda item 6 for the financial report, and Tayan will fill us in on that.
Sure. So I did put into your packets just an overview of the annual budget changes, things that are going on with this year's budget cycle. So this time of year, we work with our state partners to take a look at our established 2026 budget and make recalculations or revisions based on current needs, current spending cycles, things like that. So we worked with our partners to get that finalized and received our mid-year formula payment from the state for those expenses to get us through the end of the year. And then we also worked with our state partners, and Kayla was able to join in on some of those conversations with us this year to take a look at our 2027 annual budget projections. Again, we go through kind of a different process than most of the county departments do because we're aligned more so with the state for these processes. So we worked with them, and this right now is our 2027 preliminary budget. I haven't seen any changes or corrections or anything come back through. Typically, though, those are finally approved by the state as of July 1st, I believe, is their deadline. So we should have information on that going forward, and then we can present that to the county as finalized for the county's piece of their own budgeting processes. So not a lot of big changes, just shifting programmatic type support, client support pieces where they need to go, whether it's transportation, childcare, things like that for our child and family services. Administratively, things otherwise were pretty standard, so nothing really major to report, but I could certainly answer any questions if anybody sees anything that they would want to discuss or learn more about.
Okay, and I motion to approve those? We don't need that. Okay, got it. Moving to other business, item number 7.
I just have one item for the public. Any of you out there needing things, be patient. The redesign has taken its time, and I know the staff are working hard, so just be patient out there. I know it's frustrating for some clients, but just be patient. It's not the staff's fault. They're just following directions, so I really appreciate the staff's help. Thanks.
Thanks, Trevor, for that. And our last item is just to adjourn the meeting. So I don't have anything else. And thank you guys for muddling through my first meeting with me. Thank you.